event would not be possible without the support of our generous donors, namely Charlie
and Paul,
then again,
and Paul again,
Hans,
and Paul, I haven't said that yet,
Rudrank,
and lastly, Paul. And we'd also like to thank all of our incredible volunteers that we have up here. We have Chen, who is organizing, we have Don, we have myself, we have Adrian and Zach, and Verity.
and we also have Nadun, Mishi, Aidan, and Sup.
And tonight all of you have really important roles, and not just at today's event. So whether you're presenting or not, you're really important to us. And we understand that in the limited time you have, you might not be able to speak with each other and with every one of our 16 presenters, but we still think it's really important to gather feedback and to hear from you.
But first, let's present me. I'm Leandro Tolaini, a French student in computer engineering in France at EPITA. I started iOS development back in July when I got my first ever MacBook, and since then I just fell in love with Apple ecosystem, and I released my first app, and apparently I won the Swift Student Challenge, and my biggest projects are just coming up. But today I'm here to present my submission, which is an immersive game to learn how to use a terminal. But let's jump right into the demo. Okay, so I'm going to launch the app, and you can see the immersive design with the retro terminal style. I wanted something real immersive and fun for anybody. You can see the home screen, and I divided the app in levels. Let's start with the first one, and you can see how it is displayed. You have instructions, you have the terminal simulator, and you have some buttons to start. You can press the first button for the command and the other one for the files. You can see there is some error handling in the simulator, and the goal for the user is to seek by himself in a small documentation to let him know what commands, how commands works. So basically the goal of this first level is to try and to find a teddy bear which is lost in the files. Luckily I already know how to use the commands, so I'm going to do it really quick. I found the teddy bear, and I guess we just passed level 1. Okay, let's do a quick check of the next level, just to show you that each level has its own concept and own ID. For this one, you can see there is a live file system that displays in real time what your commands implies on your file system. So that's really cool. I'm not going to do all the level, but maybe we can go to a more advanced one. Going back to the first commands you learn to use, in more advanced level, you can type yourself the commands when you're more used to the syntax. For example, this level, the goal is to find the location of the city, but actually you're not supposed to know where the city is at first. You have to seek through the files and to make guess to try to find where it is. Actually, this is China. So yeah, the goal is just to repeat to let the user remember how to use the commands. The last level I want to make a quick tour about is the last one because it is kind of special. This is the final boss, the Terminator. It is inspired from the last scene of the Terminator movie, which is a film that I love, where Sarah Connor is actually chased by the Terminator. You actually chase too. This level brings a whole new dimension to the app because there is a timer and you have to move because if you don't, you get hit. So yeah, the goal is to make it a bit more stressful, a bit more challenging. You have to think fast, and yeah, this is pretty much it. So I'm not going to finish it because you can try it yourself, and I don't want to spoil everything. But I'm really proud of this level. I feel like it's kind of fun and challenging, even if you already know how to use the terminal. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Why do I make this app? I think it's more than just an app to learn how to use the terminal. Actually, I'm addicted to learning, and when I was thinking about an idea for the Swift Student Challenge, I really wanted to share the knowledge, but I also wanted to share the process of learning that I use, which is seeking by yourself information, trying, failing, and repeating until you make it. And I think that's how you memorize things, and that's the best thing to do. So I think it was really important in a world where AI aims to kind of break the wheels of learning. I think this is important to stay curious and stay passionate. Thank you so much for your attention. I hope you liked this presentation. As I mentioned, you can try this application yourself. It is open sourced on my GitHub. And I'll be really happy to connect with you guys or to exchange on social media. It will be a pleasure. So enjoy the next presentation.
Good evening, everyone. Myself, Ranga. Today I'll be talking about SwiftUI trends. This was the submission of WWDC 5 years back, which was an early submission after 2019 SwiftUI, and 2019 SwiftUI, and this is me. So this admission I won from India. Now I moved 2 years last year, doing masters in San Jose State. Now working as a research assistant at San Jose State Vision Pro. The research work is good, more on Vision Pro robotics. It's a good line of work in summer. And so what is SwiftUI trends? I think 2020 February I got a MacBook imported from US, and I'm very excited to try different things. I want to learn Swift and started out working on it. 1 month into it, the COVID lockdown happened, and I want to explore all the things and tried working on different things and understood how UI kit works and different core elements that used in every application, from the videos of Paul Hudson and like YouTube series. I found these are the common things that most UI elements that people gonna teach, and I have listed this, kept on practicing and understood how there was a dribble used to be that time, and people used to kind of, I don't know whether you call vibe coding, but we used to call UI coding. Put that screen and try to replicate it, post it on LinkedIn or post it on Twitter. Those kind of things used to be happen, and these are the UI elements. But coming to here, like what was the story behind it is, I was keep posting on Twitter and learned that there was a hackathon called Swift Student Challenge. That time it was a WWDC scholarship, and quickly learned that I only had 19 days. I barely know Swift. Trying out few things, some things work, and I'm only trying good at replicating the UI. So I thought, okay, Apple has introduced SwiftUI, and I found very few articles that who teaches SwiftUI, and people are very good at UI kit stuff and doing a lot of reality kit, a lot of this. I'm not too much into it, so I understand my strength where I'm good at, and thought of doing something in very short time. What can I do? And built a very small project. Focusing on only the UI. How I pitched only one line to Apple in that time is how SwiftUI can be used in production grade. All the components were there, and like how you use for animations, kind of these UI elements into day-to-day production apps. That was the idea, and I created submission with it. YouTube saved me literally. Now there is a lot of tools that you can try on, but there was only YouTube that you could go. There were 20 minutes video, you could only use last 2 minutes or the first 2 minutes. You might not know, you have to go through, run all the video and learn something. I'm trying to run this. Yeah, this is me. Lot too thin, but yeah. So I used segmented control, kind of ring animation replicated from health kit. It has a ring one, like you kind of fill your strokes on, and that there was a time it was heavy much inspired by light theme and dark theme, because 2020 it was a time that everyone is supporting dark mode. So it was kind of that trend, and like I want to put that trend into this. And next about animations. Animations are the core function for every application. They're kind of different animations that used to be there. And this was about animations, like different animations and all. And gestures. Yeah, so this whole project is morely focused on the UI one, and right now what you're seeing is 5 years back I built this playground, and now just before the presentation I downloaded from the Git. I didn't write a single line of code to make it work. You see the errors, and still SwiftUI is working, and that's I believed in SwiftUI and it's working still. I'm still surprised. So every feature that I worked on is still working. I think that's why they kind of granted the thing. And coming to the new design trends, the glass UI. So here we are after like 5 years jumping into a new thing. How I do look at the glass UI thing is, so I'm working on Vision Pro. I feel the Vision Pro UI is brought back into all the design layers for everything. So this is the way that you look at the new layer of UI framework that might be going into the future, because there might be no devices that will be held on your hands. That glass UI can be used peripherals at any stage. So this was the new foundation of design. So you might like it. Just try out. Thank you. You can just connect me here if you like it. Special thanks to all the iOS ST group for organizing this, and the sponsors who sponsored this. Thank you.
Hello guys, it's so nice to be here present for you. Today I'm going to present about my app, Ayumi Spellbook. So, So hi, I'm Larissa. I have 23 years. I studied computer engineering at Unicamp in Brazil. Also this year I'm studying Germany at Hamburg, and I was part of the Apple Developer Academy of the classroom of 23 and 24 in Campinas. And yeah, let's connect. Okay. So some interesting data. Did you know that more than half of US population have used AI large language models? And yeah, some interesting quote from that my professor always said for us in machine learning lessons is that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. So that brings me to the motivation of my app, because a lot of people use chatbots and large language models every day, but these tools, they are so difficult to understand because they are built with so many parameters and everything that it gets really hard for people who come from non-technical backgrounds to understand. So I was trying to fix this problem. My learning goals was for people understand the limitations of large language models. So the limitations is of course the bias, the lack of explainability, the lack of computing power and resource. And yeah, that brings to my app. Here I will show you the demo. So first we're introduced to Ayumi. She says she needs help to create a powerful spell. Okay, so we start to gather the ingredients to build the large language model, things like data, also the hyperparameters, and of course a bit of magic. Yes. Next, we are introduced to the training of the model. Okay. So first, the model is initialized into smaller text of unities. Then the parameters are initialized with random numbers. The model, one sec. The demo had passed. I will just explain the demo without it. But yeah, like after that, the model tries to predict the token, and then based on the actual token, it calculates the error, and this cycle goes into multiple times until the model improves. And yeah, that's basically it. So after we try it, we use the model to predict the enchantments of Yumi, my character. And in the end, we end up with a friendly reminder saying that building a large language model isn't just about feeding more data, it's about using the right data. So quality, relevance, and diversity matters the most. And now a little about my challengers. One of the challenges was seamless integration of transforms into iOS. Also, model conversion and optimization for deployment. And to balance the model size was a very difficult task because these large language models, they occupy so many space in the memory. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much. You can download my app on the App Store. And yeah. Thank you. Okay.
I'm Tim. I made this app. It's called Breezy. But let's connect first. I'm Tim. I'm from Ukraine. I'm studying in Ireland right now. And I started learning Swift also when I got my first MacBook. It was like quite a while ago. Yeah, so that's it, I guess. Let's go to the real life situation I guess everybody had. I think you all get the moment when sometimes it just feels too much of everything, too much of questions, just adult life stuff. And you just really don't know how to deal with that. You have to deal with tasks that doesn't depend on you only. In that moments, I don't know how it goes with you guys, but if we're talking about me right now, I have that worst case scenario going on in my head, and I'm asking myself a question, what if the worst happened? Like, what am I gonna do? And I realized that I gotta deal with that somehow, and I started Googling. Google came up with the idea of breathing, but not just breathing as we all do right now. Yeah, I know you think about that right now, so you think about breathing. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, you gotta breathe properly, as there are a lot of scientific papers about that, apparently. Who would know? Yes, and I made an app that helps you breathe properly by a lot of methodologies and stuff. But there's quite an issue with that. Apparently there are a lot of apps in the App Store that allows you to breathe properly, but I wasn't quite interested about that because I have an ADHD thing, so I needed something that would be entertaining. So I made it the most entertaining thing I ever did. So the only thing you have to do is just open the app. Quite easy though. Just enjoy the animation. Follow the introduction part, and breathing. Yep. Okay, let's go to the preview, small preview. It's gonna be like that. Hey, moves. Let's go to the technical part. Aim audience of that app is probably people like me with anxiety issues and ADHD combo. Yep. Code style is OOP and model view model architecture. Kind of popular thing right now going on, I guess. The app is fully accessible and inclusive by design for everyone, including people with eyesight problems, people with hearing problems, and with moving problems. Yeah, I made a lot of things for that to work. And it's kind of responsiveness. It works in the way you expect it to work, and it entertains you as much as it can do. So everyone moves, everything interactive goes, it just works. I think that was the Apple thing I was trying to achieve over there. It is kind of intuitive, so you are expecting it to do exactly what it does. And it's kind of minimalistic designed. So I did the glossy design before it was a mainstream, so I guess that's the thing. And the colors are accessible. And why I want to say about that, because I actually spent a lot of time trying to figure out the best formula for color schemes. And there are quite a lot. So, yep. And thank you. Thank you for your time, and join me.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Today I'm going to be presenting my submission app called Access Ed, which is an app that delivers course materials to students all around the world, regardless of their background or their connectivity to the internet. But before that, let me introduce myself. I am Nahom Worku. I am 21. I am originally from Ethiopia, but I now live in Canada. I am a computer engineering student at York University in Toronto, and I am one of the distinguished winners for the Swift Student Challenge. And I was also featured in the Apple Newsroom article for the distinguished winners. And about my hobby, I really like football. You guys call it soccer here. And I'm a big Chelsea fan, which is a club in London. Okay, so for the inspiration about my app, I grew up in Ethiopia, and we don't really have access to the internet, and we have like lack of educational resources. And I see like a lot of students struggling with that, although they're like brilliant, but they don't have access to like the resources. And I was also introduced to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal for quality education, which is to deliver high quality learning to students all around the world, regardless of their background or their connectivity or even their location. Okay, so about Access Ed, first I'm going to talk about the technology that I used. So I used the modern Apple technologies such as Swift UI, Swift Data, Vision, natural language, and so on. And I also used MVVM for the design pattern, which goes really well with Swift UI. Also, my app has a onboarding process. So when students first launch Access Ed, they're guided through a simple onboarding process where they can enter their name, select their grade, and their area of interest for their courses. And that data is going to be used to power up a CoreML recommendation model. So I used the CreateML recommendation template for the recommendation model. So I have a CSV file for the data set, which has this kind of structure. So we have the user ID for the first column, and we have the courses for the second column, and for the third column we have the rating. So similar courses will be having a similar rating based on the user ID. And flashcards generation. So there's another ML model that I use for flashcards generation. So students can just take a picture of their notes, and the word tagging ML model is going to be used to come up with flashcards using Vision Kit and natural language as well. And for this, I used JSON file for the dataset for the training and testing data. And to show the structure of the dataset for this model, it looks something like this. So we have the text, token, and label. So I'm going to be like tokenizing each word in a given sentence, such as verb, proper noun, adjective, noun, and so on. And the flashcard generation. So the first step is for students to upload a picture of their handwritten or printed notes. And the app uses Vision Kit to extract the text, and the natural language framework to tag keywords such as noun, proper noun, verbs, and so on. And the word tagging model is used to come up with structured question and answers. And for accessibility, I integrated AV-Speak Synthesizer for text-to-speech feature. And there's also a built-in calendar for students to manage their time effectively. So red means there's at least one incomplete task for a selected day. green means all tasks for the selected day are completed, and blue is just the current day. Now I'm gonna show a demo of my app. Okay, so this is the onboarding process. So get started, students can enter their name, select their grade, and the area of interest for courses. Gonna select chemistry and economics and so on. And this is the welcome page. You have the recommended courses. And in the courses section, you can add the flashcards, such as, you can also give it a name for your flashcard, upload your text, extract, and generate. And you have your flashcards, and these are the flashcards. And you can double click to see the answer at the back, and use the rotation button to rotate it again. And this is the text-to-speech feature, which you cannot really hear. And this is pretty much my app. Thank you so much again, and let's connect.
Hi everyone, nice to meet you. My name is Gaon Han from South Korea, and I'm an alumnus of the App Developer Academy in South Korea. Thank you. Well, I first started programming with Swift UI in 2023. Since then, in Swift Stone Challenge, I was selected as winner last year and distinguished winner this year. And I've enjoyed designing and building apps both for business and to support people in need. Now I'm excited to share my app. The name is Morespeak, a combination of Morse code and speak. I found that people with ALS patients often rely on simple eye blinks to communicate basic responses like yes or no. I wanted to help them, or more broadly their families or friends, talk more freely. Morespeak detects short and long eye blinks, converts them into Morse code, and builds sentence. And the iPad reads them out loud. Morespeak doesn't require any gestures other than eye blinks. On the left side of the app screen, users can see all the Morse codes from alphabets to symbols. By referring to this code, users can construct sentences only using eye blinks. In addition, users can trigger specific buttons only using eye blinks. First, when the speak button is triggered, the iPad reads the sentence aloud. My name is Gaon, and the reset button clears the sentence. Also, by activating the mode button, users can switch between a light and dark mode to match their environment. So that's what this app does. Now I'd like to share why I decided to create Morespeak. This is my last year submission that designed to learn 5 major color harmony rules. The app features color wheel with 20 different colors, and by tilting the iPad, users can move to circle across the wheel, and users pick matching colors, and they get to visually experience color combinations. But I had to ask myself, is it really necessary for everyday life? In my opinion, that is no. So this year I want to create something that could actually help people in their daily life. In addition, I also attended an WWDC25 as a Swift Stone Challenge winner. And during that time, I'd realized that I'd overlooked accessibility. So I want to focus on accessibility and create an app that genuinely helps people, not just imitates it. I believe that poor research and design would be disrespectful, so I took time to prepare carefully. Now I'm reaching out to ALS organizations in South Korea and the US to improve Morespeak. Every feature was built with Swift UI and used only ARKit to detect eye blinks. I realized that just simple technology can still be powerful, so I want to keep creating apps like this. And it is available on App Store now, and since we don't have much time, I will skip the onboarding. Make sure my eyes are visible in the camera section, and I will spell out my name, Gaon, only using eye blinks. By the way, if the screen is too bright, I can switch to dark mode. And have the iPad with my name aloud. Down. And reset sentence. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, welcome to my Cyber Guardian. So, let me introduction for me, okay? My name is Pornchanok Pet-in, but you can call me Jup. I'm from Thailand. Okay, what is Cyber Guardian? Cyber Guardian is application learning, basically everything in cybersecurity. Okay, let me try. Okay, this is home view. Then you see this collect gem on progress. Okay, in my app is learning for introduction, basically Nuke, web security and cryptography. Okay, this one cryptography first. Okay, let me try. My app is for permanent is form like you know Duolingo, you know? Yes, it's same like that. So you can learning and teaching in this, right? Then take a quiz. So, okay, this correct. Then you see this. That correct gem is add-on and progressive add. Then this everything thing is this can choose for quiz, right? It's so easy. Then I have a challenge mode. Challenge mode is to type to learning or in my app, right? Then this is challenge mode. You can type everything in this. Okay, when you uncorrect this one, it shows run. Then you don't know how to this, I don't know, we have in it, right? Yes, it shows you what is this in for answer. Okay, you can try to. So, you see it? It's unlocked. Sorry, I'm batting. Sorry. So, in my app, it have two. Two is for cryptography. So cryptography is a secret for text. So, okay, let me show. You type in hello world. Sorry. Okay, you can ask. Its an answer is you can reading right now. Right? You see in output. Okay. So everyone can read it, right? Then have the decode to see it. Yes. Oh, sorry. This. You can see this text. In the sharing mode, have this all time is the cryptography or everything and scan QR code. My app can do it. This one, but sorry, I don't have QR code in my image. Sorry. I think it's done. Thank you.
Hello, so I'm Alessio, come from Naples in Italy. I didn't do any slides, I'm sorry, I'm kind of a mess, you'll hear about this. And so yeah, I'm a physics student. This is my first year of university. I'm also at the Apple Developer Academy in Naples. Again, the first year is only 1 year program. I'm about to graduate as well. And so yeah, I'm actually going to start with the story of my app, my submission. It's called Lucid, it's about procrastination, and I guess most of you have been to school or university, so I guess you kind of understand me when I say most students tend to procrastinate. And it's something I struggle with quite a lot since high school. Like, there was a period in my life where I just worked all night because I was just doing nothing up till night, and so I needed to do stuff. But actually the idea came from my first exam at university. It was mathematical analysis, which I quite liked. But then I just studied for the oral exam in like 4 days. It went well, could have gone better, and that kind of made me sad. So I wanted to understand the hows and the whys of procrastination, because most people will tell you you're just not good enough at managing time and that kind of stuff. And I thought that, and it kind of made me sad. But actually I read some papers and stuff, and it's not really about that. And so I made an app about it, because this exam I did was in February, just close enough to the challenge, and so I made an app, which is Lucid. I'm going to show it to you now. Okay, yep, but it's fun. So Lucid, it's basically a study environment for students, made in a way that it's kind of designed around accessibility as well, yeah, but we're going to talk about later. So I guess mindfulness and emotional awareness, because the studies I read just led me to this. It's actually not about time management, it's mostly about emotional management. Basically what you go through with procrastination, you just start doing a task, you really maybe don't feel good about it, maybe you're not up to it, or you don't feel up to it, and you're just gonna not do it until you have to, but then you've lost time, so you get anxious, and it gets so bad in a really bad cycle. So the best way is just to prevent it, the best you can, of course, with some little things that I put in my app. So yeah, Lucid, and one thing that's interesting, I tried to go for a bit of a glass morphic effect, because I saw the Apple Invites app, and today we got a nice surprise about that. So yeah, that's my app. I did mostly custom things because I wanted to learn that. Basically, you create study projects in which you put deadlines. For example, you can see here due in 2 days, but if I scroll down, you will see it's not here. That's because when you see the due date too early, or actually too late as well, you get anxious, and that's not good. In your app, you have steps, you put them in, but you only see the next one, because if you see all of them, you're just going to get anxious again, and so that's not good. But you can see all of them as well, so I tried to doing some cool animations. I hope they're good. But the main point of the app is start studying sessions. You start studying session, you can set a timer for it, and you just study. The thing is, when you start studying, you will get notified like this to think about how you're feeling. Because studies show that when you understand how you're feeling and you spend the time to understand how you're feeling, you give your brain like enough stimulation to then go to study then and like actually do things. And of course, doing this, you're actually more aware of how you're feeling. That's quite good as well. Okay, let's say I'm bad, quite bad, yeah. So you get your list, you start studying, you do stuff. When you go outside of the app, you'll get notified because you've got to study. Or like you should, maybe you're not, whatever. And yeah, that's it, I guess.
All right, hello everybody. I'm Hendrik, and I'm going to present my Dementer submission to you. A little bit about me. If you don't know how I look like, this is me on the picture here. And 4 facts about me: I'm doing CS Master, as maybe many of you, at least in the CS field. I'm a big outdoor fan in general, so you find me in the woods all the time. And this connects to this one. When I'm not coding, I love to be like offline, like really offline, and then I'm just off the grid. And Swift, I taught myself like around 2 years ago, also when I got my first MacBook, and since then I had a few passion projects, and this led me to do the student challenge in the first place. So I have 3 little apps already in the App Store, and I learned a lot by building these, and all of this came together in my app now. So a little bit about the idea, how I came to this one. I chose like around 1 year ago that I want to do something with dementia as a topic because it's personal in my family, and so I was aware of it, and I had this idea in my head for a long time now, and I wanted to build it not around facts, just like knowing about dementia. I wanted to concentrate on the emotion so that you get a better sense of what it feels like or can feel like to have dementia, so that you are understanding them better. And I especially target a young target group, like children and teenagers who, for example, have grandparents who have dementia. So all that you're about to see is targeted at them, and I think it's also visible in the art style. So this is the core part of my app, the idea that I initially had. It's very simple. It's a 4x4 memory, and I always say it's a dementia test. When I hand my phone to somebody, I say, okay, you're about to do a dementia test. And so the people are really trying their best to do this like really simple memory. It's a 4x4, everybody should be able to do it. But what they don't know is that the icons are secretly switching places. So they perform quite bad, and they get frustrated by that, and they don't really know what's going on. And to make everything worse, people are also nagged with little alerts. So after a few attempts, this message shows up, and it's like, harder than anticipated, what are you doing? This is not that hard. So it's really frustrating to use this one. And then the second experience, it's quite similar. You have to pay, like you're at a counter, and you have an amount that you have to pay, and you have to build, and you can select them. But you are going to fail because you can't win this one. It will just like tell you did it wrong. And so, you are manipulated once again, and you are frustrated. So, why do I do this? Why is my app so frustrating, and why do I apparently hate everybody that wants to use this one? It creates confusion in general, and most importantly, it creates self-doubt, and you're like unhappy with your own performance. And it's like both of these, they are simple tasks, and you can do them, and you feel like you're not performing as well as you should. And you maybe look like these here in the picture. At least a lot of my test participants did this. And this is basically what people with dementia can feel like very often in their daily lives. They have seemingly simple tasks, but they can't do them, and they are frustrated themselves. And if you have experienced this experience yourself, and you see this happening with others, it's way easier to connect to them and to understand them and not get mad or frustrated yourself by seeing them and seeing how they perform. So this leads basically to really understanding them. Apart from this experience section, I also have more information like an understand and a support section that gives you information both about how dementia develops, what it does to the person affected, and also offers support resources. It gives you like easy tips how to work with them, how to live with them, how to build routines. And it's not like a scientific huge study. It's really like easy tips, just like you have one source of truth that you can go to, and you find everything, and it introduces you into this topic. Exactly, and you see these little brains here everywhere. Those are targeted at the kids, and this is what makes this very hard topic more approachable for everybody. And so you can give this to your children, and next time they see their grandparents, maybe they understand each other better. So that's about it. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone. So my name is Carol. I'm from Brazil. I'm a computer science student in Brazil, São Paulo. And I also was a student at the Campinas Apple Developer Academy. Last year I graduated in December. And I am here today to share with you my project called Ada's Graph. I was one of the distinguished winners this year. And first I want to share why I decided to make this project. So I am a computer science student, but when I started university, it was so hard to understand data structures and main concepts of computer science. Until one day I got into graphs, and like it was so hard. But then like at some point I went to a lot of extra classes and studied a lot and figured things out. So I thought, okay, maybe I could make an app to help people in the same situation that I was, to explain a little bit more about graphs. That's when it becomes Ada's Graph. So my submission is a playground where you can find some explanation about graphs. So you can see like the main concepts of graphs, like nodes and vertices and how they connect and how they are important. After this, you can see some mainly basic algorithms to search things in graphs, and why they are used in computer science, and like how they're used on to solve real world problems. That gets us to two main algorithms that I would say they're probably my favorite. BFS and DFS. So the main difference between both of them is how they explore the graph. And after all of this, we got to finally experience these algorithms into a graph. So this is our graph visualizer, and here we can select the algorithm we want to see. For example, DFS, after selecting it shows how DFS would explore a graph like this one. And here we can make it slower or maybe faster to see how some cute animations. We can also like add some holes in the graph. So for example, I can make like this and then try a BFS with bidirectional. Yeah, so the graph cannot go into the nodes that don't connect with the others. And when I made this and when I finally saw how a graph would be like visually, it made so easy for me to understand something that I already knew. So I hope this app can maybe help other students like me someday. And it was one of my projects that I made this year. Soon it's going to be available in the App Store. And thank you for your time.
Hi everyone, I'm Jatin Rakesh from Singapore. I'm 16 years old, and this is my first time winning Swiss Student Challenge after 3 years of participating, so this is my third year. So this is my first time winning Distinguished Winner. So a few things about me is that I'm Jatin. First time winning. I love to code, and I love people who share the same passion as me. I'm very curious, so I question a lot. I am a leader of my very own hack club in Singapore. And from the photo you can see that someone was very honored to meet me. So, basically before I go on to share about my app, I love the experience of being a distinguished winner. Just a few photos. So basically, it was an honor. So you can see Fredericky, and So what is my app about? Basically, it's a attention tracker. So what this focuses on is basically it caters to people with short attention spans, and I think our generation is very guilty for that. And I think that it helps the user because it allows them to take initiative. It encourages them to increase their attention span. So this is a few snapshots of my app. So I'd rather go to the demo now. So, not demo. Okay. So basically, I'd just like to expand on my app a bit. So the core 3 frameworks I used was SwiftUI, SpriteKit and AV Foundation because SpriteKit introduced physics into my app. AV Foundation used sound, which was, I would say, you will find out more. So I'll demo now. So this is my app. Sorry, give me a second. Yeah, so basically this is Theo. So he's the main character. So Theo goes on saying that he can't really pay attention. So I think that this is relatable to everyone, especially when they want to watch a very long YouTube video. So there is Marco here. So he's like Theo's savior and he wants to help him increase his attention span. So yeah, so this drawing I did myself, and Marco basically diagnoses him with low attention span, and it goes on to show that Theo actually cares about increasing his attention span, and so it goes to a view. So there's 4 mini games. So this is one of the mini games. So when Marco wants Theo to improve his attention span, so the first thing he does is to update his sleep schedule because Theo sleeps very late. He sleeps at 3 a.m. and wakes up at 9. So what the user does is to set Theo's new bedtime schedule. So once he does that correctly, then he goes on to the second mini game, which is listening carefully to the environment. So because listening is very integral for a person to improve their concentration, it is really important to listen. So what I did here was I created 4 buttons. So in each one of the buttons there is a sound playing, and you need to choose the button. You need to swipe up on the button that has the sound of birds playing in the background. So the user has to help Theo locate which one it is. So basically this is the instructions which I said earlier. So basically I'll just speed up. So the 4 button is the one that has the birds playing in the background, and basically you swipe up on that, and which is apparently the correct one. So then the third mini game is more interesting because you learn that concentration is not only limited to sleeping and listening, but also includes the food that you eat. So if you eat like healthy food like avocado, eggs, berries, walnuts and all that, then you'll be more concentrated. So Marco goes on to say that Theo needs to eat this food, like this type of food, and limit himself to junk food, which is like cupcakes, strawberries and all that. So this is where the SpriteKit comes because now there's like a scene whereby the user needs to drag Theo to catch the right type of food, which basically I'm doing right now in the video. So he needs to avoid the junk food, but he needs to eat all the food before he eats the junk food. If not, he loses. So so after eating the right type of food, then it goes on to the last view, which is, I feel, in my opinion, the most important for improving your attention span, which is really meditating. So I think that meditation is a great way to improve concentration. And but the problem here is that when Theo starts meditating, Theo encounters bad thoughts, like negative thoughts. So what the user has to do in this view is basically to deflect the negative thoughts from it. So basically, just tapping on the bubbles, you see. So this basically deflects the thoughts, and you can see the background is changing to a more brighter background. So it shows that as you're deflecting the thoughts, your outlook on the environment, your outlook on life will be more positive. So, and you'll also be more concentrated, and that is basically my entire app submission. And yeah, so that is my submission. Yeah, let's connect.
Hey, I'm Zimo, and my project is called Workspace. This is my submission for Swiss Student Challenge 2025. I was extremely lucky to be selected as a distinguished winner. It was actually my first time doing this thing at all. And about me a little bit, I'm actually from China. So I'm currently a math major, sophomore at Duke University in North Carolina. I am not good at math, so I started coding a little bit. I'm mostly doing like sort of like a web development, like making websites and stuff. It's pretty fancy. I actually learned Swift while I was kind of preparing for this submission. I started in January, I think. I have like about a month before the deadline. It was not a good experience. Start early. Well, and to the project. Oops, got ahead of myself. To the project. So I'll start with the features. You can actually freely arrange the widgets, which is like the center of this whole app. The kind of different kind of widgets that are functioning. You can place them around. You can drag them on a plane, and you can also drag the plane around like in, I call it a space. It's basically sort of an infinitely spanning kind of, you can fill it with whatever you want to put on it. I've made a whole catalog of options. So the thing is, the marketing term would be like the use case of the app is decided by the user. Maybe the user could portray it as a productivity app or like a lifestyle management, whatever. But in reality, I just haven't thought about a use case yet. And it's mostly a prototype. I do like the interface though, it's pretty consistent. Oh, and there's also like a theme editing feature, which you could, there's a theme editor, you can choose some preset themes. There's also like a fully functioning interface. You can kind of tweak the gradients or the colors. I could show it later. There is a demo. And as for the inspirations, it's definitely not a freeform clone. There's a lot of similarities. I don't know where this came from, but mine is more colorful and less features, and also like the interactive widgets from iOS 17. I took inspiration from that. Like that one's mostly constrained to like a grid on the home screen. Mine is more like you can just drag them around. Also, like there's a lot of like resizing and stuff. And also there's from the accent color, like we know Notes app is yellow or iMessage is blue, kind of the accent color. My app doesn't have one. You can just make it whatever you want. And there's also the mesh gradient from iOS 18. There was a huge announcement. It was from, I think it was from the SOTU. There was the whole editing mesh gradient thing. I got quite interested in it. I made an edit myself. And finally, my website, one of the websites I made was kind of an experiment thing. You can basically do the same thing and edit the gradients on the website. So that was like the inspiration sort of to combine them into my app for the submission. And to technologies. Why is it not showing? Ah, there we go. Okay, so it was made in Xcode, the app playground. I didn't use the one on iPad. It was not working for me, and mostly it's Swift UI. There's no Core ML or AV Foundation. I saw many people using it. I have no idea how it works at all, so I went for like the most simple route. And there was a little bit of a UI kit components for some of the widgets, like the rich text editor. We saw them today. They finally brought it to Swift UI, but it was too late for me, so I had to use the UI kit. And a touch of metal to render the dots. It's like the freeform, you get a lot of dots. At first I tried using the Swift UI to get the circles. It was super laggy, totally unusable. I tried the Canvas API. It was not as ideal. I had to learn Metal a little bit and put it on. And for the demo before that, there was a code for test flight. I'm gonna leave it here for a couple seconds. You can kind of take a picture, scan it, whatever, and there is a fully functional version of the submission. You can download and play it later. And now I'm going to do the actual demo. So you can see the app here. There is an empty space. It doesn't have anything yet. You can start by adding some kind of a widget, like a clock. You can resize it. You can get it over here, and like a to-do list. I don't know, maybe you can add something, like a question mark. And then you can also like arrange perhaps a like an event for some countdown. I don't know what it is, or like a stopwatch. Just started for like a stopwatch. And you can also like change the themes here to alter the appearance of the whole app, which makes it more personalized, as I believed. And there's like a whole theme editor actually. You could go between the gradients. And there's like let's go to mesh gradient. You could adjust, for example, how it looks, and that's the personalized part. It's going to reflect in this kind of the background of the space. Okay. And to the socials, I am not a socially visible person. I keep a low profile. You can find me on GitHub and Instagram. I definitely do not use Twitter. I do have a secret account, but don't follow me. I do have a website. I gotta rewrite it because I want to put the new like liquid glass thingy on it. I don't know, it's pretty cool. And actually, I talked with a couple people at the WebKit team today. They were preparing a lot of new CSS features for the WebKit, so definitely check out their videos on the Apple Developer account. And that's a wrap. Thank you.
Hello everyone, or in my language, ahoy. My name is Peter. I'm from Slovakia. I'm from University of St. Cyril and Methodius in Trnava. And last year I won the Swift Student Challenge as a distinguished winner. And one of the highlights of my experience was meeting with the Apple Design Award winners from the app Oko. And they made this app to help people with visual impairments to help them cross the street using the camera, machine learning, and haptics, which I found really cool. And I reached out to them after WWDC, and I got my very first internship. I learned so much there about product management, about communication, accessibility, and so much more. After my internship ended, the new academical year started, and I got a job as a university teacher at my university, where I graduated from my master's after like 2 days before the last year's WWDC. And I teach freshmen. I got this class called Introduction to Computer Science, and with some of my students, I led them to apply for this year's challenge. They didn't win, but they are winners for me. So what I want to talk about today is an app I'm developing for a while. It's called Mouth Pedal. Is somebody here who plays piano? Oh, quite a lot. But don't worry. I think everyone here knows the pedal on the ground you need to press in order to get some nice effect. You can get any other way. But some people may have difficulties to use this pedal. So I decided to develop this app. When we look at the existing solutions, they need to ask like second person or do these like hardware gadgets that are really visible, and so I decided I could do better, and I asked my lovely girlfriend to watch my face, and I tried to do some mimics that represents two states, one pressed and one released. It was inexpensive prototyping. I learned about this at the Apple developer site, so you don't need to actually code everything before you implement it. And I tried like raising eyebrows, but it was like really not good after some time. Also, I tried like opening and closing eyes, but you can't really read the notes when you have closed eyes. So I tried smile, but when you play like a sad song, it's kind of weird to play. And what I found the best one was the mouth. So slight opening to get the pedal triggered. I used the Norman's fundamental design principles, like visibility and feedback, so user still see what's going on with the app, even in a peripheral view. He gets a feedback if it's pressed or not. And there are also constraints and affordances. So for the affordances, here is a Face ID symbol, which is pulsing, so it's like, come here. And there is also a low light detection and in mapping. So the mouth is mapped on the trigger, the pedal. Okay, so you maybe wonder how it's connected to a keyboard. There are three ways to do this. One way is to connect it to your keyboard to your Mac, and then it wirelessly connects to your app via Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. And also you can use others apps like their instrument and load it into the mouth pedal, and even control their screen, their controllers, and play without need of any computer. I launched this as MVP. I also teach a class called Product Management, where I try to learn my students how to do this. And then I got some valuable feedback, which I implemented. So here are the results of my work. When we compare it to the existing solutions, mouth pedal is available. Actually, it's available for free on the App Store, and it will be forever. It's discrete, so these are not. The user is independent and got free movement. And I hope that I made the piano accessible. Thank you. Ďakujem.
Hi everyone, I'm Sherly. I'm Sherly Phangestu from Indonesia. I'm an alumni of Apple Developer Academy, and currently I'm continuing my journey at the academy as a second-year learner. There's Catalyst program, and I am continuing building my application at the academy to make it to the App Store. So, have you ever struggled study like biology or plant hormones through textbooks only? Actually, there are 65% of people are visual learners. Yet, most science education still relies on text-heavy explanations. And I feel it too. I remember desperately trying to memorize how plant hormones work and watching my sister doodling in her notebook just to grasp the concepts. So I built Plant Heroes. Plant Heroes transformed the dry textbooks experience of learning plant hormones into an engaging interactive journey, making complex biological processes intuitive through gamifications. So this is my application. As we can see, the user will get the seed, and the user should choose the right hormone to make them grow. And they will go through every stages of the growth, of the plant growth, until it becomes a wonderful tree. For me, Plant Heroes is not just about biologic apps. It's about how we can help people that got left behind by the traditional methods. By using the technology, we can help them to learn more more fun and more easy by a game. So that's for me. Thank you, and let's connect.
There's so much amazing energy at WWDC, but when you go home, when you fly home, you're back home. How do you take some of that? How do you take some of the ideas back home? And we have some incredible people here who have done something similar. You know, they've started something in their own communities. So I'll just pass the mic around and you guys can start introducing yourselves.
Hello, I'm Kai. I run a small indie studio with Malin. It's just the two of us. We build a whole bunch of different apps, from weather apps to time tracking apps to, more recently, something I think is really cool, which is a app for Hollywood movie directors to schedule their shoot days, which is super fun, and we're super privileged to work on that. That was fun. And we also run a whole bunch of community meetups, as already mentioned in the introduction. We have a very casual meetup in Vancouver where we just meet at random coffee shops and have coffee with developers that want to drink good coffee and chat about Swift and iOS development. That's me.
It's always like awkward to introduce ourselves together. I might just add that we also, like, maybe it's interesting background, we also have been developing since Swift came out, so for just over 10 years now. That's how long we've been iOS lovers. But yeah, you did everything else. You covered everything else, so here you go.
Hi everyone. So I started iOS development back in 2018, where I bought myself a shiny MacBook Air, and all of my classmates had a Windows laptop, and they told me that it cannot play games, like your MacBook cannot play games. So I wanted to do something that their Windows machine could not, and that's how I stumbled upon iOS development. And then in 2019, I got to know about the WWDC scholarship, and I applied for it, and I was lucky enough to get the scholarship. And after coming back to India, to Delhi, we have the Swift Delhi meetup, and I feel WWDC is like a pilgrimage that every developer wants to take. And all of the members in the community were very excited to know about my journey. And at that time, my English was, I stuttered a lot at that time, but somehow I gave my, even though I was sweating like a sinner in a church, I gave my introduction, like how my experience of develop, and it was a good feeling. So I started giving talks at Swift Delhi, but after that COVID happened and Swift Delhi kind of shut down. Last year we started Swift Delhi again, but it was TLDR, is like the air conditioner got fire, and then the meetup it was a fire meetup. But so after that, this year I got more into the intersection of AI plus iOS, and I usually want to meet people in different cities, and now we mostly talk about AI. So it's like AI OS, so it's like A and I at like a lowercase OS, and it looks cool. So I started doing AI OS meetups, and one is day after tomorrow, and one more thing as well. So that's my introduction. Thank you.
Hey, how's it going? everyone, everybody. My name is Mikaela Karen. I'm sorry if you can't see me. I'm short. I can't see half of you. I'm currently on the Swift Ecosystem Work Group. That's a new thing that I recently joined, and I'm one of the organizers of Community Kit, one of the other meetups that is happening throughout WW this year, so that's the first year we're doing it. iOS Dev Happy Hour, the in-person event. If you know you're going to it, DM me. I can get you off the wait list because tickets sold out because you all are amazing and sold out the tickets for us 4 years in a row within like a couple days. So thank you to everybody here for all of that as well. And then I got started in Swift by learning online. I studied like something completely different when I was in university, and then I was like, programming is kind of fun. So I started learning how to program, and then now I'm here speaking at conferences and with these amazing people.
That situation isn't ideal, but okay. So all of you have started something. So I guess what motivated you? So what got you started?
Same order again. For Malin and me, we used to live in different countries. So I'm from Germany, Malin's from Sweden. We lived in Australia together, and Australia has an amazing developer community. I think they have the benefit of being very far away from the rest of the world. So they had a really, really strong local community, and we really enjoyed being part of that. Sydney Cocoa had 120 attendees every month. It was only limited by the fire code of the building. There were like hundreds of more people on the wait list, so that was the kind of community they had. That was just really enthusiastic and excited. When we moved from Sydney to Vancouver, they had a really strong community, really good meetups, but they were very infrequently. The organizer is a great friend of ours, Alan Pike. He really wanted to put on a high quality event. So he was so particular about it that he only managed to put 2 events together a year. And when we moved there, we thought, we did the math. In order to make a friend, you probably need to talk to the same person 2, 3, or 4 times. If there are only 2 events a year, that means it takes us 2 years to make other iOS developer friends. So Malin and I thought, what about if we just put a coffee meetup together, right? We don't need space, we don't need any equipment. If no one shows up, it's Malin and me having coffee. That's not the end of the world either. So let's just put it on meetup.com and see if anyone shows up. And from the very first one, we had, I think it was 20 people showing up, 20 people that were iOS developers. One person that just thought we looked like a fun group, he's a city planner, he just joined the meetup and just started talking about city planning and got interested in iOS development. That was cool too. And of those 20 people, I think we still have 15 or 16 of them coming to every meetup that we have, and we have them like once a month. So I guess it works.
Yeah. Good luck.
You did such a good job with it. I'm going to pass it on.
So it was similar for me in a sense that my city has a lot of talented developers, New Delhi, and getting all the developers out of their cocoon on a Saturday morning was a bit of a challenge. But what I realized that if you induce some FOMO, that okay, hey, my friend is coming as well, so do you want to join this iOS meetup? And this is how I am usually, if you follow me on Twitter, you will know that I kind of try my best to induce some FOMO, especially when I'm at WW, and that usually works when I go back, even when I go to New Delhi or Bangalore. So this is how I started back in last year to have Swift Delhi resurrected again. And yes, and that worked very well. We had like 70 people in the first meetup.
So I got started with iOS Dev Happy Hour. I was actually not the first person to start it. The first person who started it, his name is Alan Weary, and he's also amazing. But it kind of started out through 2020 pandemic kind of times, and somebody just posting saying, hey, would you guys want to get on a Zoom meeting and just chit chat? 50 people showed up to that first meeting, about 300 showed up to the next month, about 800 showed up to the next month. This was very pandemic times, but what's so special about all of it was we wanted to talk to each other. So instead of just, oh, let's all watch a presentation, it was very much, let's actually get together and chat with other people. And we've been doing that since 2020, so it's been going on for about 5 years now, and it's always online or on Saturday, on one Saturday per month. That's the big thing. And we kind of changed the times because time zones are hard. So we try to shift the time a little bit each time, so then we can have like people join from different countries, and we're all based in the US, but then there's also Europe times, but Europe and Asia, Pacific, everywhere. And it's hard to have something that everybody can go to. But it's been super fun so far. Oh, and then I just forgot, the last thing is each year for Dub since we went back, or since Apple came back in person, we've had an in-person meetup. And then again, I've said that sold out every single year since then because you all are amazing.
Yeah, I also want to add to that, like we are trying to essentially like always have a meetup wherever we travel, because that's just a really good way of like getting to know the local community, and it's always fun to see how like you go to this like very random beach town in Southern California and there are like 20 people showing up and no one knew each other before, which is, yeah, it's fun to bring them together.
Yeah, and I want to highlight something that they all mentioned, they all started somewhere small, with 20 people, and then slowly growing from there. And I think that's really worthwhile to highlight. Because, when I plan my events, we started out, I planned the student event back in November last year. We started with 20 or so students, and now, like literally a couple of weeks back, we had over 150 students on an event about accessibility. Yeah. So I was also shocked by that. And I think one of the key things that I want to consider here is that a lot of the audience here are students from around the world. So I want for some of you to think about your own experiences. So I guess Rudrank specifically, because you were a Switzerland Challenge winner before it was called Switzerland Challenge, so WWDC Scholar. So what are some of your advice for students on, I guess, what is an entry point into the community?
So this is a question I really want to answer, because when I went to the first Swift Delhi meetup, I was the only student at that event, and I was a very shy kid compared to who I am right now. And what I realized, even when I go to other community events, maybe it's the AI events or the other communities, what I realized is that the iOS meetups or the iOS folks are so considerate, and they will want to start the chat on their own, that having that entry point, like all you have to do is just somehow put yourself out there, and then the folks will somehow get you adjusted into the community. So the only advice that I can give is just find the nearest meetup that you can find, even if it's the virtual iOS Dev Happy Hour, because during the pandemic, I attended the first one, the second, the 800 one as well, which was like very crowded. So yeah, that's how it really helps, because you know them and then you continuously know them, and then it's like every year it's like a reunion that happens now. So most of my friends are now iOS developer friends. My best friend that I have I forgot the past tense. So my best friend I met was at WWDC 2019, and now we went to Japan, we went to US, and we try to travel outside of India now. But the idea is all of my good friends and close friends are because of this community. So I am very grateful to it, and I think you never know what's going to happen if you just somehow show yourself out there.
Hello, Malin. You never got to speak much.
No, I actually also want to add, I have a similar sort of background in how I got into it. I think when we lived in Sydney, we loved the community there, and then we thought we knew Sydney had a big community, so we wanted to go. So we literally actually went to the first meetup with our pillows and blankets that we had bought because we moved there that day. So we had all of our stuff with us, and we wanted to go to the first meetup. And went to this small dim sum bar afterwards, and we took all of our belongings with us. It was great. But at that point, I also introduced myself to the organizer, and I said, I asked if there's anything he ever needs help with, and I think I started out just helping out with some emails, contacting speakers for future events, or going and greeting people at the door, and trying to just be involved and show myself, and take on those type of roles that were really fun. And that was just a great way for me to start getting an idea of how it is to organize a community. And like Mark, who was the organizer then, he did an amazing job, and he really appreciated people coming up, because as an organizer, there's a lot of stuff to do, and it looks like it runs really smoothly when someone runs it really well, but there's always stuff to do. So if you just want to help out, that we would recommend just asking, and you can get there. And I think as well, like you mentioned, I think pretty much all of our friends are from our meetups, because that's just a really good excuse to get to know people. But then what we notice is that that's like iOS is an entry point of getting to know people. But now we have like hiking groups, and they're all like iOS developers, and we might talk about iOS for like 10% of the hike, but now we're just like very good friends. Yeah.
Okay, so we're running out of time, so I'll just pass the mic around and maybe forget a direction. And what is your final word of advice for students?
Okay, so my final word of advice for students, thinking. Had to load, the train of thought was there, and then it left, and that's like my entire week. Is figure out, like, get started in some way, however that feels comfortable to you. Because you have us up here organizing meetups. That is the top level thing to do, and not everybody does. Go, like, lower the bar. We all have to start somewhere. Make an account on social media somewhere. Doesn't matter which one. Somewhere there's iOS developers on every point on the internet, and just post, I'm new to iOS development. I'm excited to be here. Because everybody up here will just be like, amazing, you're brand new to this, that's so fun. And we'll want to welcome you into the community. So just start somewhere, post or tag any one of us about that too, and we will absolutely retweet it, repost, and be like, hey, here's a new person learning something new. It's super exciting. So just start and put yourself out there with just one little step.
So my advice, or something that I would give myself to the younger self, which I think I'm very proud of, is that straight out of college, I took the decision of not going into a full-time job and be more of a freelancer. And the thing about being a freelancer is that it is a business in itself, and to excel in that, I had to put my skills out there. Like, I had to have people know what I was working on. And this is a thing that when I talk to students, they are shy, and I understand that it is difficult to put yourself out there, but the reward, the ratio of the reward versus the fear, like what I think is, in the end, is like, show your work as much as you can. You have already proved it to Apple now that you are very capable with your skills. So just try to put yourself out there. It can be any social media out there. It can be GitHub, put your projects on GitHub, but try to just showcase your work, because it really helps, because you the ripples that you make, you never know how far they're going to go. So that's my final advice.
Yeah, I think those are both really good advice. I think you don't have to go full in and go to meetup, like organize an entire meetup. But I think if you do want to do that, I would recommend don't over plan it, and don't overthink it too much. I think I have a tendency to think, in the beginning when we wanted to start a meetup, I'm like, oh, it's going to be all those talks, and we're going to do it every other week, and if you draw it up to be that big, I think it becomes more daunting, and you will be needing a lot more time for it. But I think at the end, it's about meeting people and getting to know people and have that enthusiasm that we have, that you can feel at WWDC. And I think to bring that back, the talks are like an excuse if you have that at a meetup, but it's about meeting people. So I think starting in a simple way, pick a place that you don't have to pay for, like a coffee shop or a restaurant, anything a park. Don't have those financial commitments early. I think that's a good way of starting, and then keep it as casual as possible, and that makes it a lot easier and less daunting.
I'll just piggyback on yours. I think it's also, all of us are developers. It's a very iterative process. Running and starting Meetup is also very iterative. The the first meetup you ever run is probably not going to be the best one. You probably go home afterwards and you're like, whatever you do, right? The projector didn't work correctly, you forgot to set up the right screen resolution, you forgot to greet half the people because you were so busy trying to get everything working, you know, might have forgot to put close the door, whatever it might be. You learn from that, the next one will be better. And rinse and repeat, similar to software development. You write a bug, you figure out what went wrong, you think about it, you improve it. Sometimes your improvement actually made it worse, you learn from that again, and you keep going. And I think that's a very good, hopefully that lowers the bar of trying to start something, because you don't have, the first one doesn't have to be the best one, especially if you keep going.
Yeah, I think those are all really good points. So thank you all of you for coming to share. And I think generally for all the students, do reach out to anyone in the iOS community if they're doing something, and we are all willing to support you and we're willing to see what comes out of it.
Great. Okay, hello, my name is Paul, I run a site Hacking with Swift. Tonight, I've been asked to say a few words to wrap things up. You have already done something extraordinary, okay? You've turned an idea into code, and that code into something real. And that brought you all here. All the Swift Student Challenge winners in this room have done something amazing. You built something, you submitted it, and you won. And that's rare. That's hard. And really, it deserves to be celebrated all by itself, because you already have what most people spend years trying to find, a project you actually finished. Well done. But here's the truth. What you've built so far is just the beginning. Building that one thing, that one project gets you here in this room. But knowing how and why you keep building, that's what takes you everywhere else. And so tonight, I want to finish up with just 3 words of advice I'd like to walk away with. 3 words I hope will shape what comes next for you all. My first word's the easiest word. It's the word build. Because you didn't get here unless you had the skills, the motivation, and the resilience to build something wonderful. So well done. You've already proved you can build. But now it's time to build boldly. You already figured out that Swift and SwiftUI and Xcode, they're wonderful things. Apple gives us literally everything we need to build whatever we want to. It's wonderful. But it's so easy to get lost in all the new shiny things Apple announced, like today, for example. What's new in SwiftUI? What's new in Swift 6.2? It's great fun. And they are important. Those things matter, but none of them replace your vision. None of them replace your ideas, your perspectives, your background, your experience that bring you here to craft something unique to you. They are all great tools. They really are, I love them. But great tools only amplify great ideas. They don't replace them. And so I want you to get out there and build stuff. Build an app in a framework you don't understand. Solve a problem that intimidates you. Push a button you don't fully understand. You are not supposed to know all the answers, but you are supposed to be looking for them. Not everything you build will be portfolio worthy, and that's okay. Be messy. Build messy stuff. Build silly stuff. Build fun stuff. Just build something. It's very possible your worst idea might lead you to your best idea. I can promise you, you're going to make some huge mistakes along the way. You're going to write some terrible code. You're going to take long detours that lead you down completely wrong places. And you'll wonder why that code you wrote 6 hours is now trying to personally attack you. But this is the best time in your entire coding career to make mistakes. You aren't working mostly for billion or trillion dollar companies. So screw up and you will bounce back. It's the safest time to take risks, so take those risks. Get comfortable, if you can, making mistakes. I promise you, I make easily as many mistakes as you every single day. I just learn to accept them, learn from them, and move on. And what you'll find is every bug you fix, every crash you conquer, every weird edge case you handle, they're all moments that hone your skill, making you a better developer. And look, I hope tutorials help. I hope my tutorials help you a lot. But if you screw up, and you fix it, and you try again, that's way better than any tutorial. All the confident part can come later on. Right now, just be curious. Just try things out. You haven't got to be fearless. Just go out there and keep going. Because all the real growth lies just beyond the easy stuff. The second word I have for you is this one. Build. And I know that sounds similar to the first word, but let me explain. Building software is not enough. You also have to build relationships. Looking around you, these are some of the brightest, most driven people you're ever going to meet. The friendships and the connections you make here can lead to incredible collaborations in the future. Some of the most successful technology startups began with a simple conversation at an event like this one. And you're probably thinking, your code got you here. Everyone else got that too. And it means your next big thing might not be a solo act by yourself. You're surrounded here by people who understand your passion. They are your people. They are your tribe. WWDC is the only place in the world where you can start a conversation by saying, hey, what's your favorite Swift UI modifier? You don't need an icebreaker. You already wrote Swift Playgrounds. That's your icebreaker. You have common ground. So start with a simple, hey, I liked your project. And that's enough. Ask what they learned. Ask what surprised them. Ask what they're excited about. You'll find people love to share. And maybe you're very shy. Let's remember, everyone else in this room also had to figure out what the heck closures are. You've all survived something traumatic together, okay? You're never going to find 50 people, just one. You're never going to find a networking strategy, just look for someone sort of nervously hovering near the snacks. That's your person. Don't even try and network at all. Just make connections with people. Learn from them. Be genuinely interested in their work. You haven't got to be loud. You haven't got to work the room. Just be real. And if even that's too much, and you can't pluck up the courage to speak to someone in person, fine. Try reaching out online. You know, respond to a social media post or add a comment to an Instagram story, whatever. Not all connections have to be face-to-face, and that's okay. Because real soon now, you're going to find out, as you're heading home, the magic of WWDC fades quickly. So please keep these group chats going. Set up regular calls together to hang out and discuss stuff. Collaborate on something fun. What you build here can last a lifetime. And maybe you want to use this time to reach out to folks you look up to. There are a whole bunch of experienced developers here. So why not reach out to them? Folks like we saw already, Malin and Kai, or Rudrank and Mikaela, Adrian's here. There's a whole bunch of folks you can reach out to. Incredible, yes, in terms of their code contributions, but also their community contributions. Reach out to your heroes. They were once in your shoes. Some of them still are. Send a DM. Introduce yourself. Just say thanks for your blog post, whatever. Just get involved. You never know what will happen. And if you are one of those experienced developers, please say yes to meeting a student for coffee. Accept their LinkedIn requests. Reply to their emails. Do your best to lift them up. So if we can meet them with the right tools and the right mentorship and the right belief, they won't just build apps. They'll build what comes next. The third and final word tonight. Build. Take all the code you build, mix it with the relationships you build, and put them together to build the most important thing of all. Build your future. Just winning the Swift Student Challenge is great, but it's just the spark of your story. What comes next is the fire. What comes next is what lays the foundation for your future success. All the skill and the passion you are now cultivating is groundwork for a future where you can innovate, where you can lead, and where you can inspire others. So please, follow what excites you. Don't try and just chase what's cool today, what looks good on paper. Follow the things that make you lose track of the time because you love it so much. And the things you build with, the technologies, the APIs, they're going to change. But the mindset of a learner will last forever. That's the mindset of someone who wakes up in the morning and thinks, what if? And then sees they can figure out how to make that thing happen. It's the mindset you now have of building a big thing and breaking it down to small things. Then rearranging those parts into something awesome and making it real. Actually real. Not on a whiteboard, not in theory, but on an actual screen. In front of actual people making an actual difference. And maybe you got there with a ton of Googling. Maybe you have more Stack Overflow tabs than considered healthy. Or maybe it's mostly AI. It doesn't matter. If you're solving real problems for users, you could build your apps from bits of tin can and string and they would not care. So use AI, use anything you want to. With the tools we have today, there's never been a better time to start building apps and transform your future life and career. You don't need permission, you just need momentum. So, those are my 3 words of advice I want to leave you with. Build software that solves real problems, that expresses your ideas, that breaks sometimes, and teaches you something every time it does break. Build relationships that make you feel seen, that will challenge you and lift you up when the bugs won't stay fixed and Xcode says no. You're not doing this alone. You were never meant to do it alone. And build your future. Not what someone else tells you your future could be, or should be, or must be, but your own. And maybe that's $1 million social network. Maybe it's an app that solves a problem for one user. If it matters to you, it's enough. All I ask is you keep chasing the things that light you up. Use every tool. Ask every question. Stay curious. And when you're tired, when you're doubting yourself, when you've tried something 6 different ways and it still won't compile, remember this. The best developers aren't the ones who never struggle. They're the ones who never quit. You've got this, and I can't wait to see what you build. Thank you.